Well, hello to all of you shooters and reloaders out there from Lisbon, Portugal. We've been out doing some sightseeing and touring the city and all this kind of thing. You see there, Portugal. Well, I'm doing a coffee chat today and see how this coffee is right there. Anyway, doing a coffee chat, I understand that a lot of you out there have been doing coffee chats about how you got started in reloading. So I thought I'd go ahead and do a coffee chat to add to the ones that you're doing out there. So first of all, here's some good Portugal coffee to you. Yeah, it's good coffee. I think I still prefer the Starbucks at home or the Maxwell House or Folgers, this kind of thing. But this is fine. Anyway, so reloading. There's a time that I was back in high school. I think as a sophomore in high school, and I went by this store, this sporting goods store, and they had some magazines there, and there was an issue of Gun Digest, thick, and so I had enough coin on me to pick that up, and so I did. I bought that copy of Gun Digest, and never heard about reloading before, but I always had an interest in guns ever since watching all those Lone Rangers and all that kind of stuff on TV. Fess Parker as David. Yeah, there was Maverick and also Cheyenne and Wagon Train, Bonanza, Have Gun Will Travel, Sugarfoot. There was Tombstone Territory. I mean, there was just so many TV shows all about the West and guns and that kind of thing. So couldn't help growing up loving guns and those. So I've always liked to do the shooting and had my share of BB guns and stuff like that. And Crosman air rifle, this kind of thing. But anyway, so I got this Gun Digest and read about all those nice Model 70 Winchesters and Model 700 Remingtons and this kind of thing, and dreamed about owning those kind of things. And lo and behold, reloading. Well, what's reloading? You mean you can actually take empty shell casings and make your own ammunition? How exciting was that too? So ever since then, that's when I started interest in reloading, and there were articles in that Gun Digest from a gun writer named John Lachuk, or LeChuck, or whatever, however you pronounce him. But if you out back there in that time remember John Lachuk articles, he was using CH presses and Pacific presses and this kind of thing. And so I read those articles word for word from beginning to end, and there were a number of articles in there about reloading, and that's when I started. Well, when I actually did get into shooting, I met some friends. This one guy named Doug, and Doug was an avid reloader. So I went to his house, and he had all the presses and everything else, and the scales, and he had me weighing out powder charges for him, and this kind of thing. And he actually taught me a lot about reloading that he knew, added to the information that I got from reading, because I also went to the library and read every book there was about shooting, but there wasn't much about reloading at the library. But the reading material I got was from writers like Jack O'Connor, and he really was pushing the 270 Winchester. So I always thought, well, I've got to get a hold of a 270 Winchester. Interesting thing is that I have never owned a 270 Winchester, but Doug did. And what Doug did was he reloaded for his Remington 721, I think it was. It was the one that came out before the 700. And his was in 270 Winchester. And the thing about the 270 Winchesters, with light bullets, Doug could push that 90 grain bullet to about 3,700 feet per second. But that's because his rifle was specially freeboard so that you could use more powder. So he was telling me how his charge was a grain over maximum, and I thought you couldn't load over maximum, your gun would blow up. So when I heard that he was loading over maximum, he was kind of like all of a sudden even more of a hero to me because he was loading over maximum. So we went out and shot ground squirrels with his 270, and that thing kicked pretty good. But he also had 222 Magnum that was much more gentle to shoot and dispatched the ground squirrels just as well as the 270. But the 270 had advantage in range. Well, you might ask what the caliber was that I reloaded first, and no, it wasn't a rifle caliber. It was no less than the 38 Special, because my father had that CH 38 Special revolver that's a copy of a Smith & Wesson. Well, anyway, it was 38 Special caliber. So I got Doug to help reload the 38 Special, and he didn't have a 38 Special. He had calibers like the 38 Super, which he also revved up with those light bullets, and he would blow up water bottles with them when we went out to shoot ground squirrels. The water bottle just vaporized when he shot it with the 38 Super. Well, he got a hold of some 38 Special Herders dies from a friend of his that wasn't using the Herders dies anymore. In fact, I think he wanted to get rid of them. So I got a hold of the Herders dies. They weren't bad dies. They did the job. One thing though is that with the Herders dies, they were made out of steel, not carbide. Carbide dies hadn't come in yet. So what happened was I had to lube the 38 Special cases. You guys don't know how easy you have it with the carbide dies until you've done the handgun loading with a lube, because you gotta lube a lot of cases. But anyway, we lubed the cases and loaded the ammo. By the way, that picture back there is the nice Lisbon streetcars. And they have streetcars and buses, and they have little golf carts type things that drive you around doing tours, and horse-drawn buggies and all kinds of things to take the tourists around. Lisbon's the oldest city in Europe, and it's an old city, but it's a big city and there's a lot to see. Well, lo and behold, I got a hold of some bullseye gunpowder from a gun store. You know, in those days, you didn't have to, there wasn't any age thing. They didn't card you to buy gunpowder and even 22 caliber ammunition. You could buy it as a high school kid. And the store already knew me because I was buying pellets from them. So I bought some bullseye gunpowder and 3.5 grains of bullseye powder and a lead 158 grain bullet, the standard velocity 38 Special. That's what I started on. And I cranked out those on Doug's reloading equipment. It was really good. I really enjoyed doing that and learning so much from the 38 Special. Well, and what case cleaning? We never cleaned our empty brass cases. We just picked them up off the range, and then if they were dusty, you just kind of wipe them off a little bit, and then you went ahead and lubed them and resized them, and the loaded rounds would come out and they'd look like they were all kind of grungy and all this kind of thing, because we never polished the brass, we never cleaned the brass, we never cleaned any primer pockets. We just loaded the ammunition up and it worked fine. And in fact, it shot accurately with those store-bought lead bullets. The case tumblers, the vibratory case tumblers, came along later. Now I went ahead and got one of the first ones, I think. Didn't take long for me to buy my first gun, and that was none other than the 45 ACP Model 1911 Colt, Series 70. And I got that because Jeff Cooper was really big in those days, and he was an advocate of 1911. So my first set of reloading dies that I bought was for the 1911. It was a set of RCBS reloading dies for the 45 ACP. And I loaded that one the same thing, 3.5 grains of bullseye, except we use a 230 grain round nose lead bullet. And that's when I started casting too. I started casting with a Lee mold, a 1 cavity, 45 ACP, 230 grain mold. Well, anyway, that's how I got started in reloading. That's how I got started in casting, all that kind of. So hi to Tim Robinson and also Thorzak 777 and Reloader Dude and Loads of Bacon and Full Lead Taco, Elvis Ammo, Johnny's Reloader Bench, all you guys out there. Hello to all of you out there, coffee chatting to all of you, and hope you had a chance to do the coffee chat on how you got started reloading also. So appreciate, I think it was Tim Robinson that started this about how you got started reloading? I'm not sure. Reason why, again, I'm in Lisbon, Portugal, and hello to all of you out there from Lisbon, Portugal. Bye for now.